Okay, Scott, so you are now streaming live. Have a great class.
Okay, thanks a lot, Harry.
Hey there. How are
Hey,
you?
how are you?
I'm hanging in there. Do you have bad weather your way?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
Yes.
windy.
Well, we've got what Litchfield County has tornado taking basically warnings. It's gray outside this way,
Wow.
but I live in the north central taking part of the state, and Litchfield County is 2 miles west.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, fingers crossed nothing bad comes your way. We just have a
I don't.
lot of high wind here, but
Now
the
I don't.
sun's still out.
Really? That's
Yeah.
weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
Tell me, how am I going to get my 20 years old and 9 month cat to take and pose for me for a photo?
Well, I hope I
messing with
can
you.
give you a few tips on that today.
I'm messing with you. Do you think I could dress him up in baby clothes or something? I'm messing with you. I'd never do that because he would not let me live to see the light of tomorrow.
Yeah. Dogs will do that a little bit more easily than cats, I think. Yeah. Hi,
But
Susan.
but that would take and make a great take and basic get set up photo for Facebook.
That would. I'll show you a picture of my dog in a minute, in a little outfit as well. So good to see everybody today. Hi, Chris.
Hi, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you.
So we have, let's see, so far, Norma, Elaine, both Susans, Diana. Okay, give it another minute and we'll get started. There's Brenda.
Hello.
Hey, Brenda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Thanks. Good to see you. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been involved in a bunch of other stuff, but this caught my eye.
Yeah, okay. We're small enough. I got to go around and find out what pets everybody has. I was going to do a little poll, but we've got a nice small group. So who has a dog?
I do.
Okay. How about cats? I know Carol Sue has a cat.
I have 2 cats.
Okay.
I have a
Wow.
cat.
Okay.
I have a cat and a toy poodle.
Okay. Does anybody have a reptile? Okay. Well, this will be okay. Susan's got a dog. All right. So this will be a very visual class. I'm just going to show some examples of, and we'll have a lot of fun with this. But if you've ever tried to capture some really great pictures of your pet, it can be a challenge. But there are ways to some tricks to try to get that to happen. So I'm not seeing last names on everybody. I just want to make sure, is there anybody who's brand new to Get Set Up? A lot of you I know, but new person coming in, Jennifer. Okay. All right. Nobody new. All right. Well, then welcome back to Get Set Up.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, I will get us started here. I'm going to stop periodically and we can kind of talk about our pets. And I figured this would be a nice social gathering as well as informative. So welcome to Pet Photography Tips. A welcome from me and my dog Maggie wearing her Get Set Up swag. And she's not real happy about it, but I like that picture. And I know a lot of you, but just as a review, I live in the Washington, D.C. area in a suburb called Silver Spring, Maryland. And in addition to serving as a Get Set Up guide, I'm a freelance writer and photographer, and I dabble in all sorts of photography, especially love nature shots, but I'm also a big dog lover, and I take a lot of pictures of my dog and other people's dogs. I really love being here. I enjoy the interactive learning that Get Set Up fosters. I love the community building mission. Love to see you all repeatedly and meet new people as well. So, and Get Set Up is here to help you learn useful skills, whether that involves some kind of technological skill or just getting your dog or cat to sit still for a photograph. We just want to help you do wonderful things. We learn from each other. We like to create social connection as well. Ideally, we can see you on camera. If you're comfortable with that, it creates more of a social connection. So if you can do that, that would be great and much appreciated. We are recording this class, so if you would like a recording, please email us at help@getsetup.io and we can send you the recording. If you are joining us by live stream, glad to have you following along. The best way to participate is to register for a class, and then you can interact with the other learners as well as the guide, ask questions right away, so forth. And lastly, Get Set Up isn't paid to promote any specific products. I don't think I'm mentioning any specific products today, but we always make sure everybody is aware of that. So what we'll talk about today is getting your pet to look at the camera. And we'll also talk about other various composition techniques and also some opportunities for some really fun and funny shots. And that means you've got to have your eye open for it, but pets tend to entertain us with those quite often. Before I go any further, just want to check. I do want to also mention, I'm sorry I forgot to do this before, my colleague John is here. So if you're having any difficulties along the way, you can drop him a note in the chat and let him know. And I also thought I'd stop and see if there's anything specific that anybody was trying to work on. I know this is kind of a fun class, but maybe somebody's really having some trouble getting a good pet photograph. So anything in particular you were hoping to pick up? Yeah, Brenda.
I noticed the other day I was out at the beach, and we have until Memorial Day, we have a lot of people who have their dogs on the beach.
Yeah.
And I was shooting one dog just because this dog was just hilarious. But first of all, when it's not your dog, I don't know if you do any tricks, because I would like to venture out into more of that. But also either at a zoo or at a farm, just any tips that you might have.
Okay.
Like even up against glass, although it hasn't been a problem, but I got some really good at the Chicago Lincoln Park Zoo.
Yeah.
I got some that really surprised me, but I'd like to do more of that. So,
okay. Okay. Gives me an idea we should do a class on zoo photography too, because I'd love to take photographs at the zoo.
Or or even wild animals. I'm not going to ask you for tips to try to get the hawks that are way up in the sky, but practicing for eagle shots. But anyway, that's what I was thinking. So
okay. How about others? Anybody else? No. Okay. Well, I'll get us started with a few pointers. And first, I'll just talk about all the kind of pets that are out there. And maybe some of these are going to show up in zoos too. But a lot of people have dogs. That's my dog Maggie again out in the snow. We get cats.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. This cat is given the raspberry.
Yeah. I can't even do that.
Yeah. Some people love fish. My niece has a betta fish like this that she is just gaga over. Some people like little small gerbils and hamsters and so forth. And People have birds, parakeets, parrots, and some people even have reptiles. I mean, you hear people all the time having boa constrictors, things like that. Also chameleons. I have another niece and nephew who have a pet chameleon, Professor Ginkgo, who I haven't been able to meet yet because of the pandemic. I haven't been able to be in their house since they got him, but I am really anxious to see him. But apparently he's a very fun pet to have around the house and very fun to photograph. So some of the things that you might want to look for when you're interacting with your pet, and now that we've got smartphones, in our pockets or right within reach most of the time, it's so much easier to really spontaneously grab a picture of the pet, right? So one thing to look for is expressive faces. Sometimes you don't even realize you caught that until after you've snapped the picture. And I was trying to dig it up. I do have a picture of Maggie with a bone looking up like she's daring you to come close to her. And I know she's a very gentle dog, but it actually looked like she was telling me to back off. And I can't find that picture now. I've been digging for it everywhere, but those pictures can be priceless. But we also tend to want to concentrate on getting our pet to pose. And we don't need to do that. Showing your pet living makes for some really compelling pet photography sometimes. Just showing them running after a ball or playing with if it's a cat, playing with a ball of yarn, anything like that. There are ways to get their attention, sure, to get them to look into the camera, but also any kind of interactions they're having with other pets and also with you or with other people. So keep that in mind, that as much as we want to concentrate on getting them to sit and pose, there are some other ways to get great pictures of them. So yes, in terms of getting their attention, for dogs, putting treats and toys next to you when you're taking the picture can really get their attention focused. Any kind of high-pitched noise, which I'm not going to do right here because I'll embarrass myself, especially since we're live streaming. But any kind of high-pitched noise you can make that grabs their attention. For cats, visual stimuli really work, like a bright colored string or something like that. They'll always want to be swiping at it. So think of that. I've even heard of some people hanging a treat when you're taking a picture of a dog, hanging a treat somehow on a string over the camera lens or something like that to get them to focus. But also just engage with them, show them affection. And also you got to be patient because they weren't built to sit and pose for pictures. I mean, it's hard enough getting kids to do that. With pets, it can be really challenging. But when you do, you can capture great shots like this. And like that. I really like that one. And sometimes you really get their attention with wide eyes and everything else. So these are shots where somehow they were able to get the person to look. And then you have candid moments. And those can be really nice too. I talk a lot in some of my portraiture class about getting candid photographs, and these can really work as well for pet pictures. I just want to make sure I have my do not disturb on. Yeah. Okay. And dog swimming in a dirty pond. This is actually a dog of a friend of mine. And these kind of pictures of cats just rubbing up against something, those always work. And this dog looks like he's waving or something, but somebody caught that at a really great moment. And the other trick is to every once in a while try to get close, because sometimes that will get the animal's attention. Just the proximity will do that. And that can make for a really interesting photo too. You can focus in on the eyes and the whiskers and everything else here. This is another dog in my family. This is my nephew's dog, Peanut. And I just caught this when he was lying on the cat, or she, actually, I should say, was lying on the couch, just hanging out. Even if you have a parrot or a horse. And I consider horses pets. Some people do keep horses. Or even a tiny rodent like this. But one thing to really think about is focusing on the eyes. This is a good example where you've got a lot of things out of focus, but you really have, look at those eyes. These are just really captivating. The color is really vivid, and this is a nice, interesting, unusual shot. And who couldn't love this photo? And even if you have a little bunny, some people have these at Easter time. And even fish. You got a goldfish, go for those eyes. But you can also try to shoot from far away, get the animal in its environment like this. I love getting pictures of dogs in the snow. And I really like this one. Sometimes even when you're doing those far away shots, you get them doing something funny like this. This one is really sweet. And that's one I took at a dog at a beach. Yeah, okay. I'll stop there for a moment, just see if there are any questions or thoughts or anything else that has come up since I started showing some of those. Any ideas you have?
I got a shot that I didn't expect. A friend invited a bunch of us to a farm to ride horses and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or just play on the tractors. I got to drive a huge tractor. But anyway, I got a shot, and when I went home and looked at it and put it on my computer, I was close up to a horse's face, and the eye had my entire, very clear expression reflected in his eye. And it's
Wow.
really one of my favorites. I mean, I didn't try and do that, but when you say about focusing on the eye, that does happen as a surprise. And it's very cool. It just was, it just was a very unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that one. I
Okay.
should tell you too, we're getting ready to have photo sharing sessions, sort of like social
Oh,
sessions.
good. Because
So-
I wanted to send them. They keep asking for them, and then I forget.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see everybody's pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Someone in the
Absolutely.
audience.
Absolutely.
Chris Brown, who I don't think is Chris Brown. Is that one of your shots? And where was that? Your
No,
back-
it isn't one of my shots. I wish it was, and I don't remember where it was. I should have
Okay.
put it down.
It's
Yeah, isn't it gorgeous?
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry.
Yeah, I do love that
Well-
one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You know, the other thing to get them to cooperate is to shoot where they're comfortable.
Mhm.
And that means maybe their bed or the backyard. This is Barkley. He is another family dog. He's my niece's dog, and he is an Energizer bunny. He never stops, but I was able to catch him after he finally conked out. This was when he was a puppy, and caught him in his bed. And I was really, and I caught this with a smartphone. I just did this with my iPhone and was really happy with the result. But if you can catch them in a bed or something like that, or just when they're waking up, or in the backyard. Or even if they're comfortable on the kitchen table. And this fellow looks like he is holding court or something. Or even if they're comfortable in a bucket.
They're
And
especially comfortable where they shouldn't be.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Oh.
Another thing to shoot for is to try different angles.
Mhm.
You know, tilt the camera a little bit sometimes. Or sometimes the animal itself or himself or herself is in kind of an interesting angle and you just shoot straight, but it's got them sort of tilted. This is a friend's dog who recently passed away, but I just stood right above her and caught this. And those eyes are just incredible. Not the clearest shot I could have gotten. This is an example where the shot didn't quite turn out. There's a little more focus on the mouth and not the eyes. And I would have rather captured the eyes a little better. So this wasn't the most deftly executed shot I've ever taken of a dog. But you can also get them when you're engaging with them, when you're playing with them like this, or I really like this one of the cat peeking around the corner. So.
Oh.
So here's the other challenge for me, at least. And I think that's going to be the older we get, it gets hard to get down to their level.
Mhm.
But if you can somehow either get yourself or at least get the camera down on the floor or the ground, that can make for some really nice head-on photographs. So something like this, where the photographer either was sitting down or lying down on the floor to catch this, or just put the camera there. Here's another one where somebody was obviously on the ground to capture that.
Oh, it's a good one too.
Yeah, this one I really like. Good capture of the eyes and the dog's just relaxed. And
oh, that's good.
And then there are the action shots. And this is one I am so disappointed I didn't do this more. But when my dog was younger, when we first adopted her, she could run and jump over limbs like this or felled trees and things like that. And it was just acrobatic. It was so amazing. And I never really took the time to take a photograph of that. But just catching them in action like this can be a really incredible picture. This is so sharp too. You really got the eyes standing out, and I just love this one.
Oh.
And when they're playing, go for that. It's always fun. Horse in the meadow, galloping around. That's really pretty. Yeah. I love these sort of mid-air shots where the animal's kind of half standing up, and this one's really a great, it's just great timing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about dogs in the snow, but it just, that always, with the snow flying around and everything, that always really.
Oh,
And this one, it just cracks me up. I don't know how you get a guinea pig galloping like this, but somebody did.
oh, that's good.
And that's another one too. Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of technique too, sometimes if you've got the burst mode or continuous shooting on your camera, and smartphones have that now too, I would go ahead and turn that on. If you've got a dog or a cat running or something like that, or a horse, just turn that on and just follow them. One of those frames is going to turn out good, chances are. So I could see whoever shot this just kind of putting it on burst mode and just going click, 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 click to get that one shot. So sleeping photos are always nice. Yeah, these I like. Sleeping puppies are usually pretty amazing. This is what my dog does every night in my spot on the bed. And this is our cat who passed away a couple of years ago. I shot this. Oh, I'll bet you it's been 10 years ago. I was using an iPhone 4 at the time, maybe, or something like that. But I shot this with my smartphone. I think I might have used a photo app to edit it a little bit, but I just thought this, the resolution isn't great or anything like that, but I really still was kind of amazed at what I captured there. Just kind of a very shallow depth of field, but. Okay, so here's where we get into those expressive faces. This one, I don't know if this cat's eyes are normally like that, but the timing on this one looks like it was really perfect too. Again, this one's a little more focused on the nose and the mouth than the eyes, but the expression is so funny that you can kind of look past that. And of course, who could resist puppy eyes like this? And nothing cracks me up more than seeing animals tilt their heads like that and kind of curiosity. You see dogs do this more than cats, but. And then there are some breeds that just kind of naturally have those faces that make you laugh, right? So I think this dog probably, who knows what kind of mood he's in, or she, but looks grumpy, right? Same with this cat. I think that is that cat's, obviously it's that cat's natural face. I don't know what kind of breed that is, but yeah. So some pets can just be inherently entertaining to photograph.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's hard with guinea pigs and hamsters to really get an interesting photograph, but sometimes you can find something like that. Takes a little bit of attention and patience to get that, but. Yeah. So I have a photo like this, which I didn't include of a horse doing this because it technically is not a pet. It was a wild horse in Iceland. But surprisingly, these are not that hard to get. Horses do this fairly often. And so,
Wow.
yeah. And then this is where I talk about those expressive faces. It's sometimes I don't know that you really realize you've captured until after you snapped the picture and then look at it. But this just looks like this demure smile that this cat's just giving. It almost looks like the cat really was posing for this photo, kind of looking over its shoulder. And this one really does look almost like a smile. Okay, Carol Sue, here's what we were talking about, dressing them up.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go shopping tomorrow and
Yep.
get an outfit.
Yeah.
And then my 20-year-old can be a pet star
Yeah.
if I live.
Yeah. Yeah. So some are going to be more cooperative and laid back about this than others. I know that Maggie does not like to wear clothes. Other dogs, sometimes I know of smaller dogs that actually like the warmth they get from, say, a little dog shirt or something like that. But there are other things like a bow tie that are not going to bother the pet too much. So those can be kind of fun. Or just decorating a horse like this. Or just putting a little bow on a kitten or something like that. These are sort of small things that can add a little bit of cuteness to a pet photo without really distressing the animal too much. These are getting a little more daring. I don't know how hard it was to get this bulldog to keep the hat on his head, but boy, it makes for a classic photo. This is great. And putting them in a Halloween costume or a superhero costume, I don't know how they did that. I could never do that with my dog. And, you can always celebrate their birthday, put a little hat on them. So here's where you have to seize the moment. Look for fun and funny moments like this. And they do happen. There are some that we've captured, not so much with cats, but with our dog. This one I like, just seeing a cat try to get the fish. Our dog, I couldn't find a photo, but here's another one that we did capture once. She will actually, when I get out a toothbrush and the dog toothpaste, she will actually bare her teeth for me to brush them, like a little grin or something like that.
Wow.
Things like that you just seize on because they are priceless. Yeah, here's a parrot with a toothbrush. And this one just, yeah, I'm just wondering how long this lasted here before he jumped on it. Yeah, just those ordinary moments that, and this is a little bit of an ordinary moment where one pet is getting into the other pet's dog dish, but it still can be funny just looking at that expression. That one may have been staged, admittedly, but it's still kind of cute. And this dog thinks he's Santa Claus, apparently. And then if you've got more than one pet, and they get along, it's fun to get them together. This one I really like, where you've got two pets together, a horse and dog out in the country. They can be the same species. They can even be siblings. And again, sometimes they're lying still or sitting still and grab that smartphone or digital camera and snap away. This one's kind of cute too. And people love photos of cats and dogs getting along. It's funny. I don't know where this whole trope about the dog chasing the cat came from, because I've seen a lot of dogs and cats coexist very, very blissfully. And don't forget people. You know, whether you're doing a family portrait, include the pet in there. Something like this is always good to have. Anything with kids is great. Yeah. And that is a picture of my wife, G1, and Maggie that I took a long time ago, but it's one of my favorites. And how I got her to look into the camera, I don't know for that one, but she did. And lastly, don't forget to reward them. If they're being that cooperative, they deserve a treat. So especially the dogs. So, and if you repeat that after a while, they start to associate the lens with the treat. I don't know if you can even do that with cats, but with dogs, yeah, they start to do that association. So the the camera lens could become sort of the Pavlovian bell, if you will, and get them to stand at attention. Okay. So questions, comments, funny moments to share? Susan, you look like you were about to say something.
Well, I was just thinking the other day, I took a picture of my dog. I have two dogs, and we've got squirrels in our backyard who tease the dogs. And most of the time the squirrels are fast. But the other day, my dog, one of them caught a squirrel, and I didn't know it when it happened, but I walked into the room here, and she had the dead squirrel on her bed over next to my desk. And so I took a picture of her and I put it on Facebook, and it upset some people. They were saying, "Oh, poor squirrel." I'm like, well, they tease the dogs. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
She was guarding the squirrel.
What kind of dogs?
Just mutts.
Mutts? Yeah.
Yeah. One is I think a shepherd mix, and the other one I think is maybe has some pit bull, but she's not a mean dog. She doesn't have enough pit bull in her to be mean. But
yeah. That's interesting too, because I think I've seen a lot of very sweet pit bulls. So
I think so. Yeah.
I know they have that reputation, but I've seen some real nice ones, and sadly they're hard to adopt. There's there's a shelter here in DC, in the DC area, and all they have are pit bulls, and they can't get them adopted.
Are there any easy to use apps to enhance your pictures?
There are a lot.
Mhm.
And in fact, I teach a class on photography apps. Actually, I teach a few classes on photography apps now. So one of those is called The Magic of Photo Apps. And I don't know if, John, if you have a quick way to drop those in the chat or not, if you can find them. But and there is another one on that focuses specifically on an app called, well, Photoshop has a couple of mobile apps
Mhm.
that are free. It's not like Photoshop that you, for your desktop, that you have to pay a monthly subscription fee for. These are free to use. They do some really amazing things. And then there's another app called Snapseed, which is also a mobile app that works really well. And for anything you might take with a digital camera and download to your phone or download to your laptop or desktop computer, there is a free app called Photor. That's F-O-T-O-R. And there is a pro version of that, but which you do pay, I think, an annual subscription for, but a lot of it is free. There, you can download the free version and you do quite a bit with just that free version. And there are others out there too that some are better than others, but Photor does a pretty nice job. And then there's another online one called Pixlr. And that is web-based. So you just go to the website, load up your picture, start editing it with the editing tools they have and enhancing them, and it stays there. You can download that edited version whenever you want, share it straight from there to Facebook or Instagram or. But yeah, Diana, John dropped that. Yeah, it's F-O-T-O-R. But he also dropped a link to that class on
Great.
photo apps if you're interested.
I see it. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
I took that class and I really like Snapseed.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has a lot of, I mean, I don't know Photoshop well enough yet. I'm learning it, but I generally use the other Adobe, Lightroom.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Snapseed, it does some creative things. And then there was another one, I think you talked about that. It's kind of like painting the photo.
Oh, PixArt.
Is that Yes.
PixArt.
Pixar.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's here. I'll let me see if I can type that into the chat as well. Well, I'm having trouble here. Yeah, it's PICSART. And that is a great one to try out.
Mhm.
But that will do all kinds of things. It's a real utility hitter,
Yeah.
or utility player. It will do everything from touching up portraits to just transforming photos into pop art, and paintings, and things like that. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm. It's really, I think it's a really good app for mobile devices.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing too, the ability of some of those mobile apps. Sometimes I feel like they do more than what you can get with some of the desktop apps, other than Photoshop.
Yeah.
But Photoshop, there is a
Yeah.
there is a gargantuan learning curve with Photoshop. Other than just some of the basics, there are so many things that Photoshop can do, but I have been using Photoshop for probably 15 years, and there are all kinds of things I still don't know how to do on it. And I don't really memorize them very well, so I have to go back and look it up every time I try to do something. Everything from removing an object from a picture to blending pictures together, things like that. It's an amazing tool, but it's also really really complex. And there are apps rolling out that do a lot of the things that Photoshop does, but they're much easier to accomplish with those. It's just that each one sort of specializes in one particular thing. So while Photoshop does it all, some of these others you may need to use it to do one thing for your photo and then open it up in another app to do another thing with it.
Have you tried On One?
No, I haven't heard that one. On One.
I think it's On One or On One R or something like that.
Okay.
ON, the number one.
Is it a mobile app, Jennifer? Or?
They've just recently made it into a mobile app. It was an alternative to, I think, Photoshop, because you could purchase the program instead of having to pay a monthly fee.
Yeah.
And it did a whole lot. They have a ton of training courses.
Yeah.
And it seems like every month they're coming out with more and more backgrounds and different things that they're adding to their program.
Oh, okay.
I haven't used it enough yet to tell you that, oh yeah, I really like it, but I own it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, how expensive is it?
I bought it when it first came out, and I think I paid $99 for it.
Okay.
But they do have a free, I don't know if it's a free version or a free trial for it. And I want to say that the learning curve was easier, but that may be because I had some Photoshop and Lightroom experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard to really determine when you've had so many years of working with Photoshop. A lot of those new apps sort of mimic a lot of those functions, so it's easy to just jump into it if you've had that experience before. But some of them are pretty easy to use. There's another free one called GIMP that is a what's the term they use for it? Open source app, but it is harder to learn than Photoshop. But it's free. It's completely free. So, and I think Apple has come out with its own product now called Affinity. I can't remember the name of it, Affinity or something like that. But yeah. So I'm hoping that we can at some point do a big get together to show pictures of our pets. I think that would be really fun.
Would.
Yeah. I'd like to see all your pets. I thought maybe somebody would have one sitting with them for the class. But
Here, maybe I'll get one. Hold on.
okay.
What are you doing, huh? Come here.
Here's mine.
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
Oh.
What is it? That's not a Shiba, is it? This is Dolce. She's blind.
Oh. Oh.
So, I can't dangle a string. That won't work with her, but certain treats will work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Look at, there's Susan's dog. That's a beauty.
Yeah. I think you're muted, Susan. Okay.
Yeah, that's the shepherd mix that had the squirrel.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was practicing.
Beautiful. Yeah.
He's practicing for Tongue Out Tuesday.
Oh man.
Come here.
Yeah.
Come here, girl.
Okay. Well, I'll do a little wrap up here and then tell you about some other classes coming up. So just to give you an idea of places you can go to look for some inspiration for some pet photography. Here are a few sites that I really like. This first one, Flickr, you may have heard of. It's been around a long time. It's changed hands 2 or 3 times over. It used to be owned by Yahoo, and now SmugMug owns it, but it's a photo sharing site. So there are millions and millions of users around the world posting photos on it. I mean, amateurs and pros. Great way to just go in, type in a search term like dog or cat and see what comes up, just to give you some ideas. 500 pics. That's another one that's newer, but it's kind of the same concept. Of course, there's Instagram, and it's easy to look at pet pictures on there. And then these last two, Unsplash and Pexels, are their stock photography sites. They're free stock photography sites. You can go there and download the photos for free and use them. No attribution required or anything most of the time. But there are a lot of experience levels and skill levels on those platforms. So some you're going to look at and think there is no way I could ever achieve that with the equipment I have, but then you'll see others and they're fine photographs, but you can just tell that they're more spur of the moment photographs that somebody caught, and that can get you really inspired to or just give you some ideas on what type of shots to get. So just to sum up, remember, try to use those treats, toys, and noises to catch your pet's attention. Focus on the eyes, shoot where they're comfortable, try different angles, and if you can, get down to their level to get some interesting angles that way, and look for those expressive faces and those fun and funny moments. So if you do have some luck getting a good pet shot, we would love to hear about it. Even before we do any kind of get together, you can always let Liz on our team know at liz@getsetup.io. She's always looking for learners to showcase based on just showcasing what they've learned on Get Setup, how they've applied it. So feel free to drop her a line. Just to give you some related classes or events coming up, we do have one, I think it's this evening, or maybe it's tomorrow evening. It's on the schedule, but it's an interest group, and it's Love Me, Love My Pet. So it's just people getting together to talk about their pets. There's also one on, if you're an animal lover, even beyond just pets, there's one on Australian wildlife from somebody in Australia, one of our guides in Australia. And tomorrow is Earth Day. So if you would like to celebrate Earth Day, my colleague Deb is having a class on great Earth Day picnics to plan. My next classes, I have one at 7 Eastern tonight on portraits. I'm taking portraits of the people around you, the people you care about, family, friends, acquaintances, coworkers. And also tomorrow, we are launching a class on creating wall art for your home or office. If you've taken some photographs you're really excited about and you'd like to get them printed and framed or printed on canvas or something, or metal, all kinds of materials that you can do that with, I'll walk you through the places, the sites you can go to load up your photos and order those. So I'll send you some class notes with a few takeaways. And if you want to recommend the class to somebody else, we will be doing this on an ongoing basis. You can share it on Facebook or just email it to a friend and say, hey, you might want to check this out. We'll also provide you with some other class suggestions. You can click here to view the schedule and click here to give some feedback about the class. We would love to hear about ideas that you have for classes we could create. We do have an ongoing goal of creating fresh content as every week. So we would love to hear your ideas on class things you'd like to learn that we aren't giving instruction on right now, but could. So also, we have a new feature on the site. If you would like to invite a friend to take a class with you, when you register, you can click here at this little tab here and right away tell a friend via Facebook or WhatsApp or via email, just by clicking on one of these icons. And if you are interested in hosting an interest group with us, we can help you get that set up. We have a lot of interest groups like that one on pets, where people just get together to talk about a shared interest, a shared passion, hobby. And all you need to do to get that rolling is to email us at help@getsetup.io. You can also email that address, that email address, to suggest a new class. You don't have to just limit it to the feedback form. If you are a member of an organization and you think that there might be some partnership possibilities there for us, say with classes that could be provided to the members of that organization, let us know. And also, if you want to get a recording of the session, again, just email us at help@getsetup.io. That is your fallback email for any of these things that you might want to contact us about. Okay, so I hope that was fun. Today was the premiere of this class, so I hope it was entertaining and inspiring, and hope you get some great pictures. And keep an eye out for some get-togethers where we'll share some of our photographs, including some pet photographs.
Sounds good.
Yeah, all right. So everybody have a great evening. Good to see you all, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye all.
Okay,
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Goodbye,
All
everyone.
right.
Bye.
Thank you.
bye-bye. Thanks, Carol Sue. Take care.